Hello and welcome to another interesting tutorial on this YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through the step-by-step process on how to make a drawstring pouch for beaded bags with or without a sewing machine. So if you don't have a sewing machine, you want to watch this video to the end because I'm going to be teaching you how to make this pouch without a sewing machine. Or if you have a sewing machine, you can also use one. The materials I'm going to be needing are satin fabric. I'm also going to be needing a matching color of thread and needle, some office pins, gum. This is shoemaker gum. If you have your E6000 or your B7000, you can use that. And also note that the gum is optional if you have a sewing machine. Then I would be needing my scissors, measurement tape. I would also be needing this tiny cord or chambala, or you can use any ribbon of choice. I measured and cut out 30 inches length and 9 inches width. So this length, which is 13 inches, is going to serve as the height of the bag. So this is going to serve as the height of the bag, and this is the width of the bag. Now, I will also measure from this point to this point. I'll measure out 4 inches. So this is my 4 inches. I use my tailor's chalk to mark it out here. Then from this point to this point, I'm going to measure out ½ inch, and then I'll use my tailor's chalk to mark that out. I'll also go over to the other side and mark out or measure out ½ inch, and then I will mark it out like that. Okay, so before I continue, this 13 inches by 9 inches fabric, I'm going to be cutting it out in 2 places. So this is the first fabric and this is the second fabric. Okay, so now I'll get my pin. So for the sake of those that want to stitch, you will place the fabric like so. You will fold like so. On the wrong side, this is the wrong side of the fabric. Okay, so this is the wrong side. This is the wrong side of the fabric. You are going to place the fabric like so, and then you fold. So this is my 4 inches. From this point to this point is the 4 inches. Then I'll also fold here as well. So remember my 4 inches. So if you have a sewing machine, you take this to the sewing machine and stitch down. You stitch from this point to this point where you have your 4 inches, and then you stop. Then you also stitch from this point to this point and then stop. Now you also repeat that for the other fabric. Okay, so for the purpose of those that do not have sewing machine or may not have access to sewing machine, you are going to use your gum to gum that part. So I'll get my gum. Like I said, you can use your USU gum or your E6000 or B7000 gum. So I'm going to get my gum and I will apply my gum to this part. So you don't want the gum to be too much, as you end up having gum stains. Just apply a very light gum. You apply here and then you also apply to the other side of the fabric. After applying gum, you give that some time to dry up a bit and then you fold like so. Can you see? Then I'll also fold this part like so. Remember, we are working with ½ inches and you will stop here where you have your 4 inches. Can you see that? This is the other fabric. I will also fold. Okay, so after folding the fabric, I will place both fabric on each other like so. So the wrong side of this part will be facing my working table, then the wrong side of this part will be facing up. So now we have the wrong side of both the right side of both fabric facing each other. This is the right side of the down fabric and this is the right side of the other fabric. So this is how you are going to place your fabric. Then I will measure out my 4 inches again. This is my 4 inches here. I'll measure out my 4 inches again, then I'll fold the fabric like so. So I'm going to fold the fabric like so, then I'll pin it down. I will also fold the other part and then I'll pin it down as well. After folding this particular fabric, I will also fold the other fabric under. So this is why I marked my 4 inches. I'm going to fold the fabric like so. So just see the way I'm folding it. You fold like so. Then I'm going to pin that down. So this is the right side. This is the wrong side. So I'm going to place both fabric on each other like so. Can you see that? Now I'll get my electric iron and then I'm going to give this a good press. So we want to press this down. Okay, so you are going to give this a good press. Okay, so I'll take my time to do this. Then when I'm done, I will also press this down as well with the iron. After ironing this part, can you see, I'll get my pins and I'll pin both fabric down like so. So first I want to arrange the fabric like so. So you want to fold this part in. You want to fold in like so. Then you also fold this part like so. So you want to arrange that properly. Can you see? Then I'll use my pin to pin that down. So this is it. After pinning the fabric down, I also pinned this part like so. Can you see? Now if you have your sewing machine, you take this to your sewing machine, you stitch from this part. You're going to stitch from this part down to this part and you stitch down here. So you are going to end it here. You don't have to stitch this part. Don't touch this part, this fold. Just stitch like so. But if you do not have your sewing machine, you get your needle and your thread and you are going to stitch with your needle and your thread. So this is how you are going to go about it. You are going to stitch like so. So you may want to I'm making back stitches on this fabric, so you may want to do your running stitches, but it has to be something that is very, very tiny. So this is how you go about it. Can you see that? So if you have your sewing machine, just take it to your sewing machine and stitch. So I will continue with the remaining part of. Okay, so this is what I have after stitching the fabric. Can you see? and this is the back side. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get my measurement tape and I'll measure at ½ inch. So from this point to this point, I'll measure at ½ inch. Can you see that? Then I'll also measure at ½ inch here. So after measuring the ½ inch, I will also measure out another ½ inch. So depending on the size or the width of the ribbon I'm going to be inserting inside. So if your own is very fat or if your own is wider than mine, you may want to increase it to, you may want to increase that, but I'll be using ½ inch. Okay, so this is the part I'm going to be inserting the, I'll come here and measure out the ½ inch. Can you see that? So I have to use my chalk to just mark that out. Can you see? So I'll get my needle and my thread. You want to take off the pins. I'll get my needle and my thread. From this point where I measure at ½ inch, I'm going to be making running stitches. If you have your sewing machine, you take this to your sewing machine like so. You are going to stitch this front and you also stitch the other side. So you take it to your sewing machine like so. You stitch from this point down where I measured at ½ inch. Then you also stitch the other one as well. So this part, this midpoint is where we are going to be inserting the ribbon. So you stitch like that. But if you don't have a sewing machine, you are going to make running stitches on the fabric like so. So your running stitches has to be very tiny, something very tiny, not too fat. So I'm going to do that to the other hand. Then when I'm done, I will also use same procedure to make running stitches on the other part of the fabric, which is this part. So after stitching this part, I'm going to turn my work to the right side. So this is it. This is what I have. You may want to iron this hat when you are done. Just take your iron to just give this a good press to straighten that part. Now I'll get my pin. This is what I'm using to serve as my ribbon. So I'll get my pin, then I'm going to insert that here. So now I'm going to, when I bring it out from this part, I'm going to insert it into this particular one. This is a bit tiny because it was just ½ inch I used. So you are going to push that in, then you bring it out from the other side. Now I will bring it out from this point. Then I'm going to cut this out. So you are going to go with something that you can comfortably use to tie this thing. So I'm going to tie this part to prevent it from so I may want to use lighter to burn this part later. Then as you can see, I'll just cut something that I can comfortably use to tie this thing. There's no specific measurement. So this is it. There's no specific measurement. Then I'll tie this part as well. So this is the finished look of our pouch. Can you see? So you may want to drag like so, then you tie, then you can open it up as well. Then lastly, please do not forget to iron this out. Just iron this out to make it look neat. And that will be all for this tutorial.